Okay, friends. Hello, hello. Ooh, sorry. Trying to adjust my camera. So I'm picking up where I left off on the advent calendar that I'm slowly but surely working on. So I finished all the boxes. Those are off camera. And today, what I'm going to start working on, at least, and I'm sorry, this project is big. This is 13 by 13. It's a big piece. So what I wanted to do, I started taking a look at this pewter, kind of antique pewter. I don't know if you can see the it's pretty cool. But what you can't tell, maybe you can, from being on camera here, is this is kind of dark. I like it, but I kind of wanted to go with more of a, and it's kind of funny because we don't get snow here, we don't get snow here in the valley. But I wanted kind of something wintry looking, and this pewter is a little dark for me. But instead of repainting it, I think I'm going to go in a different direction. So I discussed this ugly back with these little, where the tabs had to go in. And I'm going to end up using, so these were the punched out letters from the Basic Grade collection that I'm using. And I was going to spell out the word Christmas, kind of overlapping them so it's kind of fun. I think I was going to put the S up here because that M is pretty large. CRMA, yeah, S. Something like that. I took a picture on my phones because I kind of mess with it and I really like the way it was laid out. Excuse me. So I'm going to put this in the middle here on the back and then figure out something for the sides. I'll probably do that thick ribbon like I had showed before because I want this completely covered up. But I don't know if you can tell, this stands out against this antique pewter paint that I used, but I don't know. I'm really on the fence. Actually, I'm going to completely change it because I already made up my mind. So I watched the Tim Holtz Thursday. He had a live, excuse me, and showed some additional makes using. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this die set. It's the Paper Village? Tiny Village? I think it's Paper Village, but they're these super cute little teeny tiny houses that you can make with the Thinlits dies. And at that point, I'm like, that's it. That's what I'm doing for this little diorama in the middle, is I'm going to use those tiny houses and I'm going to make like a wintry scene. So I have that I have that paper, I think it's called Paper Village. I have that on order. I also got the trees, the woodland trees that he has in his line. And I'm going to use the tiny lights, which I need to find in stock because the white ones that I want are out of stock everywhere. And I also got the baubles. So I'm going to make this kind of a wintry scene in the middle. But that being said, this color is a little dark. So what I'm going to do, and I think it's going to work. Well, let me put this back down. I got a couple things here. I've got some texture paste, the opaque crackle texture paste from Ranger, and I've got some clear rock candy crackle paint. So I'm going to use this to cover or to put over the little boxes, and then I'm going to add either this brown, kind of Van Dyke brown color, or maybe I'll use the black soot and water it down and kind of go over that to really highlight those crackles. I haven't decided yet, but this is going to be used on the fronts of the boxes because I want to kind of retain that distressed look, but I think this will give it just a little extra pop. In addition to using that crackle paste, I think I'm going to do my my numbers in this Zing embossing powder. I've had this in my stash for years and years. But going through, kind of looking at my stamps and what I had available, I don't want to use stickers. I thought about using stickers, but I don't have enough of any one sticker to be able to do days 1 through 24. So stamps is much more economical for me. I'm not trying to go buy more crap that I don't need and I'll only use once. So I think I'm going to use these stamps by, oh, let me get a camera here. Image Tree. I've had these forever. And it's just 1 through 0 or 0 through 9, I guess. And it says, it has an S, T, R, D, N, D, T, H. So if I want to do first, second, third, fourth, fifth, I could do that. But I think I'm going to stamp these on separate paper. I'm thinking maybe smaller circles. And then embossing these and attaching those to the circle and then putting them in the corner of the little tiny boxes. We'll see. Sorry. I'm still dealing with this bronchitis, you guys. I'm feeling better a little bit every day. It's been a struggle. So that kind of covers where my mind is going. As far as for the actual advent calendar, so I'm going to have to do this 2 sides at a time. The top, either the side, the top, or the top and the other side, and then wait for that all to dry, and then flip it over and do the bottom. Although I don't know if I'm going to do the bottom because no one's going to see that. So here's my thought, because this is so dark, and it came out really dark. Well, it came out like it was supposed to, but I've kind of had a change of heart, and I want it to lighten it up a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this stencil and kind of go over each side. I'm going to use the crackle paste. I'm going to put it through my stencil with my palette knife, and I'm just going to move the stencil, move the stencil, move the stencil, so it looks more random and not contrived. And I'm going to do 2 sides. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to then do the other side, this side here, let that dry, and then I think I'm going to go over, depending on how it looks. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but depending on how it looks, I think then, I don't know. I don't know how the crackle's going to look. I think the crackle's going to also show a lot of the pewters, so I might go over it with an ink, or I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It might look completely like crap. I really don't know. This is totally experimental. I'm also going to do the back, so I'm forgetting the back here. Because like I said, this thing is ugly. But I think if I go over with the crackle paste, just in this center panel where I'm going to spill out that word Christmas, I think it'll give it a nice bit of dimension. I don't know. I'm still playing around. I haven't decided yet, but I kind of wanted to just go over kind of where my mind's at and where I think I'm going to go. I have to wait for the few things that I ordered the other day to come. I think they'll be here maybe sometime this week. But I'm super excited to get those tiny houses, and I think I'll probably do this in 2 layers. Excuse me. I want to put some kind of an additional little shelf that's going to go across here in the middle. So it'll give me two kind of scenes. Little houses up here, little houses down here. I could put a tree, you know, the lights to light up the houses is kind of where my mind's going. I want to use the baubles because the baubles look like pearls, and they come in different sizes. They look like pearls. Well, they are pearls, but they don't have a hole in the middle. So I need to figure out what colors I want to represent in those little tiny pearls. And one of the makers that Tim Holtz had spotlighted, I guess. He has a lot of makers that make such amazing things. So what I was kind of thinking, and I wanted to borrow from her, and I think it's Tammy B that did what I'm thinking of, or where my mind's going, is it might not be. But she took those baubles and she used alcohol ink to color them, and then she made them into tiny ornaments. So like put striped glitter, it looked like striped them with glitter, or did different patterns with glitter, and it was super cool. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's amazing. That I really want to do that too. I might not. I haven't decided yet, but I'm super excited to get the order that I placed a couple days ago in, so I can start to play. In the meantime, I need to get this guy figured out so that when I'm ready to do the center, all of this is completed. So my methodology is I'm going to figure out what I want to do with the outside, so that the frame. I need to figure out my numbers on my tiny boxes, because the boxes are already constructed. They're over there off camera. I just have to put numbers on them. I need to figure out where they're going to go, because I want them kind of, I don't want like next to like. And then after I get done with that, then I can start focusing on what's going to be here in the center, which is going to be the tiny houses, the baubles possibly, definitely the Christmas trees. I've just got a lot of work ahead of me because it's going to be amazing when I'm done, but for right now, it's like if I stretch out everything ahead of me, I'm like, oh gosh, that's a lot of work to do. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this. I have to get a few more things done today, chore-wise, before I get started on this. We have bulk trash coming tomorrow, and I really want to get like some boxes and stuff out of the garage that need to be thrown out. So that's my goal for today. Eventually I will get back to this. I might not get back to it today, which is why I'm not going to share this video today. But I will as soon as I kind of get the pieces and parts put together. One other thing I did want to mention is it's not April. And in most of my videos it said March. This is not, I think this calendar is actually from last year. I bought it at, I want to say that either, I think the Target dollar spot or the Dollar Tree. I can't remember which. I don't use these as a calendar. I use them as kind of a clean workspace. So I just ripped off March because it was getting a little gross. But I'll work on here with glue and markers and paint and whatever. And then when it gets dirty, I just rip it off and go to the next one. I actually think this is a couple years old. I don't even think it's 1 year old. I think it's a couple years old. But anyway, just a tip. Get one of these desk-typed calendars that you just peel. You take the page and you just peel it off and throw it away. They make an excellent work surface. I write little notes on what I'm working on here or little ideas. I'll write them off to the side. I test my pens and my markers. Anyway, it's more like a, I don't know, not really a splat mat, but it catches a lot of crap that I don't want to get on my cutting mat underneath. So works really well. I really like it. Ooh, why did that? That's tripping me out. Anyway, I'll stop tripping out. More to come, more to come, more to come. Like I said, I'm still kind of mulling through what I want to do with this honking beast. But hopefully I will be able to get this done. I'm hoping by the end of October. So then I can start on my other holiday crafting for gifts and whatnot for my family. Actually, I hope to get this done in the next couple of weeks because end of October, that only leaves me, what, 6 weeks? 6 weeks to get all the gifts done or cards done that I want to, and that's really cutting it close. So happy Sunday. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Mine is typical chores, trying to get a little bit of crafting in, you know, getting ready for the week starting tomorrow, and we're just gonna go from there. So thank you for watching. Thank you. If you have any suggestions or ideas, let me know, because I'm always interested in what you guys think, or if I could be doing anything a little differently, because I'm very new to this. I'm trying my best to figure it out. Yeah, it's fun though. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey guys, it's been a while, and actually I'm almost I'm almost done with what I'm doing. And then I realized I hadn't started filming. So I am in process, and I think you guys remember, let me get it, the advent calendar that I have put aside and haven't touched in months. So I'm working on today, and I hope you can see that. I'm doing some crackle paste on the sides, and you might not be able to see that. I don't think it's picking it up on camera, but I also added some hold on, distress glitter in the clear rock candies. So these two sides are drying right now, this one and this one, and I'm gonna wait until these dry so that I could do the this side here. So I'm gonna put that back aside. But what I started doing, I realized I was doing it and I didn't get it on film, was I am putting snow on my little paper houses. So same principle, I'm using the texture paste And I'm using the Distress Glitter in the Clear Rock Candy. So I've only got 3 left. And this stuff dries kind of fast. So I'm just going to go over real quick kind of how I'm doing this. And I hope you can see that. So really there's no rhyme or reason. I just have a palette knife here. And I'm just kind of slapping this stuff on and making it look like snow. Like little snow drifts. And this palette knife it has this very fine point, so I can get into this little ledge right here that is over the window, or I'm sorry, over the door. So I only have 3 more of these to go. The other ones are on my shelf drying, but it's going pretty quickly. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then I just sprinkle the glitter, tap it off, and oh shoot, that just dumped a whole bunch of that right. Woohoo, glitter, yay, fun. I just tap off the excess, and I have a shelf right here that I'm sticking them on so they can dry and I don't cover them or smash them with something and ruin it. So I'm almost done with these. I don't know if the stencil that I used on the advent calendar itself and this texture paste is going to stick. When I just picked it up, it felt like some pieces were falling off. So I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but it's worth a shot, right? So I'm just putting my glittery goodness on here, tapping off the excess. And I got 1 more left. 1 more house to put snow on, and then I am done. So I started working on this in October. I think you guys remember I posted a couple videos. And then I got super discouraged because I had ordered the Tim Holtz tiny houses, the tiny paper village, I believe it's called. And everybody else, of course, wanted it. And it happened to coincide with Stamp-Timber, I believe is what they called it. And my shipment, and all I ordered were these little paper houses, or the dies for the paper houses. The shipment was significantly delayed, and it took about 2 weeks for it to get to me. And at that point, I had moved on to some other projects that I was working on, so I never got back to it. And here I am. It's now the 7th of December. And I'm finally getting back to getting this done because this advent calendar has been mocking me for weeks. Like, just finish me already, just finish me. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm working. Oh, goodness. Man down. Running out of room on my shelf. So let me grab one and show you kind of real quick. This is what it's looking like. And I don't know if the camera is picking up the glitter because it's still drying, but this is what the tiny houses are going to look like. These are going to sit inside of the advent calendar. I made a couple of shelves that are going to go horizontally, and then I'm going to light up the houses from the inside. So now that I'm done with this is a very messy process. As soon as the rest of the actual housing for the advent calendar dries, I am going to finish the one side with, actually I had to cut a stencil in half because it wasn't fitting where I needed it to. So I'm using this swirl stencil. You can see I had to cut it in half so it would fit. So I'm using this to do the top. I don't know if it's going to turn out. I kind of envision it a little different in my mind, so I mean, it is what it is. It's on there now. I'll do the last side just to finish it off, but I don't think it's going to stick the way that I wanted to. I'm probably going to have to come in with, let's see, I have a Clear Rock Candy crackle paint. I think I might have to, and I also have, and I don't have it here on my desk, but I also have a sealer, like a clear sealer that I think I might have to use to make sure that that's not flying off of that wood. So that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna wait for the houses to dry. as soon as the two sides on the actual advent calendar itself are dried, then I'm going to grab that and I'm going to show you guys how I do the last side. So we will be back later, and stay tuned. Okay, so I'm back. As I suspected, I just brushed this with my fingers and it all just, like, it's just cracking off. So what I did, I have a damp paper towel and I'm going to try to get as much of this off as I can. That's just a bummer. And I think it's because I spray painted this with this. Like you can see, it's just chipping right off. I spray painted this initially and then I didn't like how dark the paint was. So I think what I'm going to have to do is, well, obviously scrape all of this stuff off. Figure out what I want to do with this. I'm just so bummed out. Like, I'm so bummed out. So, live and learn. But because of that, and I have these little paper houses, now I'm concerned that this is going to flake off too. So I might need to rethink, like, coating this in something. I don't know. We'll see. Or sealing it, rather. So we'll see. I'm going to go scrub the rest of this crap off and figure out what I want to do with the outside of this this advent calendar. Okay, guys. So I just finished scraping off all of the texture paste. I use this texture paste opaque crackle and the glitter off of the outside of the advent calendar. What a mess. I've got crap everywhere on the desk. I'm trying to, like, brush it off as best I can, but yeah, I'm gonna have to get the vacuum in here. But what I wanted to show you was my tiny houses. So I hope you can see that. I hope it's coming across on camera. But I put the same crackle paste. These aren't dry yet. I put the crackle paste on the top and then put the rock candy glitter. So I think it's picking up. And it's not, they're not perfect. It's supposed to be snow. I think I might have to go over this one because it looks a little crappy. But because it's a crackle paste, it's going to start to crack. I didn't have any other opaque medium, which is why I had to use what I had. This is the little church. I don't know if you can see the little bell in the tower. But I might have to coat these once they are dry, and you can see they're warping a tiny bit because this isn't real thick paper. So we'll see. I just wanted to kind of show you where we're at. This one, I think I got a little carried away with the chunky, but I think it looks good. It looks cute. So we'll see. We'll come back with, let's see. I got to figure out, I got most of the crackle paste and the glitter off of the outside of the advent calendar. There's some spots that are a little white, but I had to kind of scrub pretty hard on some of the spots. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I need to do with that, and because I don't like the outside the way that it looks right now, and we will come back soon. Okay, guys, I figured out, I think, a solution. I think I figured out a solution. So what I don't know if you can see that little white right here on the corner. The like I mentioned before, the opaque crackle that I used was flaking off of this. As soon as I picked it up, like, pieces just started flying off. So and that's my fault. I did spray paint this piece, not even thinking. I thought I wasn't going to do anything to the outside, but I didn't like how dark this turned out. So I thought I could do a crackle paste with some glitter and kind of brighten that up a little bit, but that didn't work out. So we're on to plan B, which is I have cut these 2-inch pieces of paper. I already did the one on the top. You can see that. And I'm going to adhere it to the side. So I'm using my Bearly Art Precision Craft Glue. I changed the tip to let a little more flow out than normal. But I'm going to just put a nice amount of this glue on. I already did the top, like I showed you, but I'm going to do the top, or the sides, the left and the right side. Okay. I'm going to back it up to here, but I'm also going to bring it down to this edge. as much as I can, because that's, I think I need to cut that little piece. This stuff dries kind of fast, so I gotta work quickly. So I'm going to burnish it here. I didn't need this glue right here at the top, so I'm just gonna wipe that off with my finger. Let me get a paper towel. I usually wipe the glue on my pants, but I'm wearing one of my favorite pairs of yoga pants right now, and I don't want to ruin them. So I'm just pushing it up against this lip right here and just kind of burnishing this with my fingers, just to kind of make sure that that gets stuck down. And this is blank right now, but I'm going to show you here in a minute what I'm going to do. So this piece of paper, this glue is very sticky, is a little too wide. Let me see if I can get that on camera. Right here. See that little lip? We're going to cut that off in a second. But I want to get this adhered first. I'm going to show you a little trick that I use when I'm cutting papers and I want it to fit kind of custom. All right, so we've got our top is done, the side is done. We're gonna do this other side. So see, you can see like that white yuck, blech, that yucky stuff. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing with this one. Mind you, this is the bottom. So we're gonna line up this piece with the bottom, and this is going to be a little more, well, it's definitely gonna be exposed, at least for right now. We're gonna fix it, don't worry. We're gonna fix it. And I could have used a decoupage medium with this, but I don't have any. I'm not going to the store to get any, so I'm using what I got. All right, so let's put this down. We're gonna line it up with the bottom here and just kind of push it in place. I think this is really going to lighten up the look of my advent calendar. I like the dark pewter gray, but it was just a little darker than I expected. So, just improvising, we're rolling with it. Okay, so that should be adhered. Like I said, this stuff dries super fast. So we're gonna let that sit. Let me put my pin in here so we can set this up. And we're gonna go back to the other side. So remember, we have this tiny little edge right there. I don't know if you can see that white. The paper's not quite, it's a little too long. You can definitely see it on the bottom, that white edge. We don't want that. So what I'm going to do, and if you're squeamish about using an X-Acto blade, you can, I'll show you how else you can do this, but I just go along the edge, and I hope you can see that. And I just start to cut. Actually, it'd probably be better if I turned it upside down. I need a different blade. I don't think this one, it's not, ooh, it's not skinny enough. So the housing here at the bottom is hitting the edge of my project, which is no bueno. We don't want that. Let's try again. There we go. So we just want to get that paper, that extra hanging piece off. And it should have started to cut, so you can, I probably need to get a sharper blade. Actually, I probably should just do that. Because it's not cutting cleanly, it's actually tearing. And I don't want the edge to be torn. So let me just switch my blade out here. Sorry, I'm off camera. You don't really need to see me switch a blade, do you? Okay. All right. Now we're cooking with gas. All right. So I'm going to, again, flip it upside down. And I'm going to get rid of this white edge, this little overhang of this paper. That's not quite tight enough. There we go. Beautiful. What a difference a sharp blade makes. Okay, so now we have our edge, but what you can also do, if you don't want to use an X-Acto blade, if you're a little squeamish about that, let's see, where is my nail file? nail file, I just had you. I have a bigger one. I don't know where it went. It was just right here. I think it might have fallen on the floor. No? No? Crafting in the raw. Oh, here we go. So, nail file. If you just go down, and this sound might drive some people crazy, but if you file in the opposite direction, so you don't want to push up like this to lift the paper, you want to file down. And that is going to give you a little bit of an edge, and then you can just peel the paper off. So I'll show you on the other side. Again, you just file. I don't know if you can, I hope you can see that. Let me lift it up. You see how the paper is starting to bend? So if you file it enough, that paper is just going to come away. See? It just pulls off. That's not my preferred method. I usually use the nail file after I've cut most of the excess paper off. But you do whatever you're comfortable with. I used to create custom like signs for people to either hang in their home or their baby's nursery, and it was usually like an initial or like a small word like home or family, stuff like that. But I used to cover them in paper so they could, you know, so it looked nice. They would pick whatever pattern they wanted, and I would make it for them. This was years ago, years and years ago. But this method works really well if you want to alter, if you want to paper alter anything. There we go. Okay, now we have a nice clean edge. All right, beautiful. Okay, so now that we've got our edges covered, adhered, and covered with the paper, this is the bottom. We're gonna leave this raw. So we've got our top, our left and our right sides, right? But we've got this piece right here that's a little ugly. And the reason, and the tops, it's a little ugly. And the reason why that is I only have 12-inch long paper, so I can't cover this as a 13-inch width square advent calendar. So what I did was I cut out, let's see, where did they go? I cut out two pieces, you can see there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to square it here in the center to fold, then I'm going to adhere this around this corner right here, so you won't see this ugliness right there. So I'm going to put this aside. Let's get our scoreboard. I think I cut these at 3.5. Okay, let me get my bone folder. So 3.5 is about there. Do the other one. And we're just gonna fold, fold. I was a little bit off. I'm a little bit off, so let's cut that piece off. The devil's in the details, y'all. Okay, those are done. I'm gonna put my knife away so I don't drop it on my foot, because my luck, it would end face down. That's not a good look for anybody. Okay, so here we are. Here's our top. And we're just gonna put these little guys on like that. See? Just perfect. Just perfect. So again, with our glue, nice. Paper towel, because I don't want to ruin my yoga pants. And this glue does dry clear. So even if you're a little too generous and it oozes over the side, that's all right. It's going to dry clear and you're not going to even be able to see it. Okay. that, we've got a nice corner. It's my husband texting me. He's at the ranch, and I'm guessing he probably just arrived. So let me mute my phone real quick, and then we'll do the other side. There we go. Gorgeous. Oh! Oh, man down, man down. All right, let's do the other side. And I get this on Amazon. It's not too badly priced. This is a 4-ounce bottle. I never used it before, so I didn't go like gangbusters and buy the biggest one they had because it was obviously more expensive. But this 4-ounce bottle, I love this stuff so much that I'll probably go through it pretty quick. And it is comparable. Honestly, I don't think there's a difference between the Bearly Art Glitter Glue, or the Bearly Art Glue, and the Art Glitter Glue. I have both. The only thing that I noticed of value, I guess, maybe not to me, because I live in Arizona and it does not, well, I live in a part of Arizona that does not freeze, at least not consistently. But with the Bearly Art Glue, it can freeze and thaw up to 5 times and still maintain its consistency or ability to stick, I suppose. And the Art Glitter Glue cannot. You also, if you live in a cold climate, you cannot get Art Glitter Glue by any seller, as far as I know, at least not off of Amazon, if your temperature is under 40 degrees. So 40 degrees Fahrenheit, something to think about. All right, so our sides are done. Okay, and my next step, I'm gonna put you on pause and we'll come back, is I made these little shelves to go in the center. So I gotta measure out the correct distance. And then we can put these in the middle of here. I'm probably just gonna use some hot glue, because we're only putting these tiny houses on there, and I don't think it's going to be, it's not going to outweigh what these little tiny shelves can handle. So these are just poster board, or I'm sorry, foam core board that I measured, I cut, and I covered them with paper. And you know, so fancy, I use masking tape to seal the bottom. But yeah, the little houses are going to sit on these 2 shelves. And I have a couple other little fun things. I don't know where they went. My desk is a little bit of a mess. Oh, here we go. So I have a couple of these little tiny deer and these little tiny Christmas trees that I'm going to put into this, what is it? Advent calendar center. So we'll be back with the next step.